I'm Elena Cardone. I have a Build an Empire Mastermind on relationships coming up. I've written the workbook. It's going to be amazing. It's a workbook about this thick with exercises in it that's going to help you really understand what a relationship is, how to get on the same page with your partner. Also a bonus section with your partner in business, but the main part is your relationship and your partner in life. So talking about getting you aligned, same page, purposes, who to have around you, who not to have around you, what are the red flags that you look for, how to protect the empire, how to expand it, how to grow it. It's going to be an extraordinary blueprint of the exact information that you need to go home to get everybody on the same page so that you can really flourish and prosper, everyone pushing with you and not against you. Now, while I'm writing this book, I happened to be in Malibu at the time. This is a couple weeks ago, actually. And Grant and I had just purchased a brand new Escalade, Cadillac Escalade, brand new, white, cream, beautiful color car. Anyway, I tell you this story because I think a lot of you can relate to relationships, and I also want you to know that I'm in a relationship, and relationship stuff happens to me all the time as well. So we've just purchased this brand new Escalade, and it's my first time going into the garage, which is about that narrow. I know y'all know where this is going. And the Escalade is about that big. Okay? Little narrow space, Escalade huge. Little narrow space, Escalade that huge. So I'm going in to take turn into the garage, and you guessed it. I scraped the whole side of the Escalade against the garage door. And it's like all black on one side. Now, you'd think that would be the humiliating part, and that's where the story should end. But I'm actually going to tell you the true confession of it all. Actually, that was the passenger side of the vehicle, but what I didn't tell you is when I pulled in, and I am a really good driver, by the way, and so I haven't had an incident like this since I was a teenager, just, to lay the clear picture here. I don't want y'all to think like, oh, she's just bad woman driver. Okay, but for the full confession here, as I was pulling in on the driver's front side into the garage, there was this big barrel sitting there. Brand new home. Did I mention brand new home, brand new vehicle? Don't quite know this yet. Anyway, I hit the front left side, driver's side, against this barrel and get black marks all up the front side of the vehicle. On the passenger side, scrape it against the wall on the passenger side just because I like to even out the car. Scrape, 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 mortified. Children are in the car. I'm like, I'm just, at this point, I'm like, just barrel through it and get it over with, like just rip off the Band-Aid. So anyway, from that point, I have to go inside, tail in between my legs, and tell Grant that I have scraped the brand new Cadillac. Yeah. This is coming from a person who's only fights primarily with their husband over his driving, by the way. So, our biggest source of contention is me yelling at him for all of the potential mistakes he makes while he is driving. And now I have to go inside and tell him I have damaged not only one side of the brand new vehicle, but the two sides of the brand new vehicle. And by the way, the freshly painted garage that we just painted on the outside, both sides, the black paint from the top to the bottom, scraped off. Yep, that was me. So I asked to speak to Grant privately as I tell him I accidentally damaged the car. And so he goes outside to look at it. Now we are away from our children, and he is processing this information. And, of course, I really only cry on stage when I'm delivering speeches, but in life I am rock solid and I never cry. And now I am starting to cry. And Grant immediately says at first, oh, what, this is my fault somehow? Which I kind of thought was funny that he thought I was going to spin it to blame him. And if I would have been clever enough, maybe I would have done that, but I wasn't clever enough to figure out how to spin it to somehow blame him for the situation. Anyway, that's a whole separate side of relationship issues, but I was crying and I said, no, did I say that? It's your fault. I'm crying because I feel bad about the car situation. And I'm crying now, which he's not used to seeing. And I said, I'm crying because I feel really bad about the car, one. Number two, I know you're going to throw it in my face and make fun of me in front of Ryan Secco, who travels with us all the time, who is the vice president of Cardone Capital. We travel together. I said, you're going to make fun of me with Ryan all the time. I'm never going to be able to live this down. I'm like literally like crying, like for real, you know? And he starts dying laughing. He was like, now that's true. That's true. I see that point. And then I said, and lastly, I'm never going to be able to be upset when you're driving badly again, even though it is true you are a bad driver, because now I scrape both sides of the car and I don't have a leg to stand on. And I'm literally crying about this. And I said to him, as I'm crying, and I said, and so you can tell me whatever you have to say, and I will take it. But before you do that, I just want you to answer and tell me what you think I would tell you after the fact. If you had really gotten into an accident or a ticket or something like that, what would I say to you then? Not me yelling at you at the potential thing that you did wrong, but really after the thing. And whatever you think I would tell you, that's what I want you to tell me. And I'll take it, because you're right, I messed up. And Grant took a moment and he looked at me and he said, is this really your problem? That you scratched two sides of the car? Is this how low we're going to go? We're building empires. We have built this whole thing together. We've got our health. We have our children. We have our future plans and where we are going. Do you really need to be mired down in stress and worry and anxiety over a scratched car? That we have gotten ourselves in a place where we can go and fix and not have to worry about money to get there. Like it can just be handled in a week. We can pay for it out of our own pockets. We don't have to run it through insurance. Is this really what you want to cry about? You should cry about that I'm going to humiliate you with Ryan, but everything else, this is, you don't need to think for a second that you have to apologize for this, that you have to be embarrassed by this because of where we are, how long of a track record. We've been married for 18 years. We've been together 20. Elena, I've seen you drive. You're a good driver. Don't get in your head about this. Don't even worry about this. This is nothing. This is like the problems that you wish that you had, that you're so thankful that you pray to God. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for giving me the problem of scratching the sides of two cars. Didn't hurt anyone, damaged a car that can be repaired. You should be thanking the Lord that this is your biggest problem right now, because we're a team and we're going to get through this together, and you need not shed one more tear. And of course, that made me cry even more. I'm like, oh, I love you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But I want to tell you, that was not always the state of our relationship. We were not always in a situation where damaging two sides of a car wouldn't hurt us financially. In 2008, we were on the verge of losing it all. Every penny mattered. It doesn't matter anymore. We've built this empire on a solid foundation of our relationship. Wouldn't it be incredible if you could scratch two sides of a vehicle and your partner would say that to you? If you want to know how to be on the same page as your partner and be in a situation like I was with mine and have your partner have your back and support you and not let you think bad about yourself for one more second than you already did, then you want to be in this relationship. Build an Empire Mastermind. Because I'm going to tell you, all of the tools, the systems, and the practices that we use and implement in our relationship to achieve heightened levels of success with each other, helping each other reach our goals and our dreams. We don't need to tear each other down. You do not need to be tearing your partner down. You need to be figuring out who does what in the relationship, how you're going to fortify and help push each other up so that y'all can rise together firmly on the same page, forging forward, winning for yourself, for your family, and your community. And that's what you are going to get out of the Build an Empire Mastermind relationships. I cannot wait to see you there. Sign up today, right now. Seats are limited and it is selling out fast. You do not want to miss this. You deserve to have your relationships in a winning position.